Okay, hello. My name is Joris Vermeesh. I'm Professor of Cytogenetics and Genome Research at the KU Leuven, and I'm also a member of the Center of Human Genetics, which is the diagnostic unit of the University Hospital in Leuven. At this point, I would say, and also where we're coming from, so my core business is exactly developing new technologies, especially genomic technologies, and translate them into medicine. And what I've seen over the last 5 years has been an increase in regulation. And this has consequences both on our ability to perform pilot studies and to introduce new things into the healthcare system. And let me explain that a little bit more in depth. First of all, in order to pilot, you need to develop studies. And to do studies, we go to ethical approval. We need to engage individuals, patients, in order to participate. That's what we ask them for informed consent for the studies. That's fine. But for many of the diseases we look at, the incidences are rare. Pediatric leukemias, the cancers in pregnancy, they're very rare. And so we deal with rare diseases. So the populations we need to include in studies are huge. That's one problem, because ICFs is counseling, is money. The second problem is we will do this multicentric, or even across multiple countries. That's exactly what the network, this joint action, is about. And so when we try to share data or samples across countries in Europe, there's a huge amount of paperwork. In terms of MTAs, material transfer agreements, have to be developed, legalized, DTAs, data transfer agreements have to be signed. There's different people involved. There's the legal offices of the hospitals, there are the legal offices of the university, there's the data protection officer. All these officers have their voice in just shaping one agreement. And if this is about rare diseases, maybe you have one case per center across Europe, and that's really blocking progress. So I see that as one major issue. Second development, which I think is hampering innovation, is the IVDR regulation. While meant IVDR is the In Vitro Diagnostic Regulation. And I think the aims of the IVDR are great, offering the best quality in introducing new technologies. But in the regulation, it has some side effects. First of all, it hampers university hospital to develop new technologies, because as soon as a company comes with a commercialized product, we have to switch to the commercialized product. As a consequence, investing in some of these diagnostic products becomes not balanced anymore. Or we say we won't do it. Especially for rare diseases, that's a problem. Because if we don't do this, who's going to do it? And we see the reverse happening as well. Some companies stop offering diagnostic products for some rare cancer diseases because it's too rare to adhere to the IVDR regulation. Because the cost-benefit balance is out of proportion. So I think we need a framework for rare diseases to foster and to flourish in there, also rare cancer diseases. Last and finally, maybe I'll give one more issue which I think should be done in terms of introducing new technologies. It's of course the balancing act between reimbursement and the potential to innovate and the reimbursement system. We can only innovate if there's reimbursement, either from commercial or from government healthcare systems. We can rely also on individual payments to some extent, but I think that can lead to inequality. So we need to find ways, create a framework, and that was done in this particular joint action, create frameworks where you say, okay, there's enough clinical evidence for clinical utility and clinical validity to push new reimbursement schemes forward. So I think that's in a nutshell.